Hey everyone, Gallifrey Forever 97 and welcome to today's retrospective video where we'll be looking back on my weekend in London where I went to the BFI screening for Dragonfire celebrating season 24 and also Time Fracture on the Sunday, which is the new immersive Doctor Who theatre experience. So if you went to either of those, let me know in the comment section below how you got on. Dragonfire is obviously more of like a limited thing, but the immersive theatre is going on all year round. So if you haven't gone yet, obviously don't worry, this will be spoiler free. So I won't be talking about any spoilers, just talking about my sort of experience. So start off with the BFI event screening for Dragonfire. This stage happens when the classic series comes out on Blu-ray. They'll pick a story from that season and air it on the massive cinema screen in the BFI at South Bank, London. So the last one they did this for was the Talons of Weng Chan for season 14. I didn't go, unfortunately, because literally the coronavirus was kicking off, and I think a couple of days after the event we went into lockdown. I was going to go, but I cancelled my tickets. So last time I went was November 2019. It was November 23rd, 2019, because they screened the Series 12 trailer after the event, which is pretty cool. That was for the Curse of Fenric season 26. So almost a year and a half was the last time I went to one of these. And so I was really looking to get tickets. There's all social distance, as you can see by the photos on the screen. I had to wear a mask obviously through the screening. Justin Johnston introduced the screening, taking everybody through what was going to be the day ahead, and also welcome everybody back, because obviously it's been such a long time since one of these had happened. He did mention there was going to be one for season 8, which would have been the Terror of the Autons, obviously with the new updated special effects was released on the season 8 Blu-ray, but unfortunately due to another lockdown that one didn't go ahead. So very fortunate enough to have this one. Before they started screening episodes, they had someone come from the crowd who was a cameraman from Dragonfire, and he had a whole list of notes. He was well presented, talking about all the different experiences. The fun fact I learned, I found most intriguing, this is kind of spoilers for Dragonfire, but when Glitz's spaceship blows up in episode 3, they filmed it vertically up and filmed the explosion vertically, so that it kind of gives the illusion of being in space with no gravity, which I thought was a really cool camera trick, and for kind of filmmakers and stuff, it's quite a cool technique to do. They screened the first 2 episodes of Dragonfire together. When the title sequence started, it really did give me chills. You got the 5.1 surround sound of the titles, so when the rocks come overhead, really immersive experience. I did watch Dragonfire quite recently because I did a fan-made like BFI trailer, so I knew the story quite well. But I know people that were with me said I've watched it for years, so it's quite a good thing to kind of rediscover that story. After episode 2, Russell Minton, who's the producer of the Doctor Who collection range, came on stage to talk about his involvement, taking us through how he originally pitched this entire range in 2015, what they kind of want to do, because obviously with the DVD range with quite a lot of special features, so they're always kind of looking for new stuff, like, oh, what haven't we done? For example, there's a new interview with Patricia Quinn, who was never interviewed on the DVD range, so it's kind of like ticking the box of like, oh, what haven't we done and what new stuff can we present? It's really lovely to hear him talk about the range. Obviously a lot of people involved, but to hear kind of from the top, like the idea and the sort of love that goes into these sets was really great to hear. So after his talk we had Dragonfire episode 3, and then it went through all of the new special features, about 5-minute previews of each. So behind the sofa for Time and the Rani, some great banter with all the different 80s eras, and some really funny stuff. It's a great way to kind of re-watch episodes in kind of a cut down version, and the hilarious commentary from actors who have been involved in the show. The new Delta and the Bannerman making of documentary, the Doctor's Table, which we had on season 23, now we've got season 24. An audience with Patricia Quinn, the Matthew Sweet interview with Sylvester McCoy, and then to top it off, the screening of the 24 Carat trailer, which was the season 24 announcement trailer featuring Bonnie Langford and Sylvester McCoy back in the roles of the Doctor and Mel. And to finish the day off, we had a talk with Ian Briggs, who was the writer. He mentioned that he really liked watching it with the audience due to like laughing at certain jokes, and certain bits haven't aged well. For example, the cliffhanger for episode 1, which is a literal cliffhanger. And he said how in the script it was more of a cliff face and there was no way to go back, and it was like just a cliff face, and obviously the Doctor had to go down. But obviously in the show it's just like a banister on the side and he just kind of walks off. It was more of a kind of in peril situation on the script, but obviously when it came to the show didn't quite work out that way. But it was really insightful because obviously he created Ace, and then how he was able to actually bring her back in the Curse of Fenric and stuff like that. So yeah, really interesting talk. After the screening, it was a really great social event afterwards outside, enjoying the sun of London. Met so many people, numerous people to mention, but everybody I talked with, it was an amazing afternoon, early evening type thing, talking all things Who, with some beverages all round. So yeah, it was just a really lovely thing to do that because it hasn't been done in a while since all the coronavirus stuff. It's great to connect with people that love the show as much as I do. So thank you to everybody who's there, a really lovely time. So the next day, time fracture happened. This was something that I was going to do anyway because I kind of wanted to plan it in with doing the season 24 screening. I went with a TARDIS Monkey, aka Ellie, Aaron, aka Friends of Ace on Twitter, Owen, who works at the Who shop, and Beef. So if you don't know, Time Fracture is an immersive theatre event, similar in vein to Doctor Experience, where you do go on an adventure, but it's much more interactive, many different sort of actors involved, playing different parts, really immersing the story. I say I'm going to give my spoiler-free thoughts due to I want people to enjoy it as much as I did. All the sets are incredible, all the different worlds. As soon as you get in there, you kind of forget about the outside world, and you're in the world of Doctor Who, quite literally. All the actors involved were incredible. The spontaneity, like improv style of like interacting with the audience and being able to kind of involve them with what they've obviously got to say, really incredible stuff. So you do start in like the unit bit, and there's a whole kind of sequence in that, going to different parts of that, getting everybody's attention and doing different little challenges, and then you go into the Time Fracture. And there's so many different stories. That's what leads to going on multiple occasions, because you don't experience everything. There's different storylines you can go down, very unpredictable. So in our bubble, we went down sort of a different story path than someone else and other bubbles and stuff. The ending is this climactic, immersive experience, topping it all up. Even if a really kind of heartfelt what kind of being a Doctor Who fan is, and just loving the world. But the middle section is completely up to you. As soon as you go into the Time Fracture itself, who knows where you could go. It's kind of like you're interacting with different bits and bobs. Just as a pre-warning, there are some scary bits, and obviously for people who don't like that, they probably will make you aware of it when you go inside and stuff. Every era is accounted for. It's just Doctor Who everything. There are very dark moments, so if you do have younger kids or don't sort of like claustrophobic space and stuff like that, I'm sure you can bypass that type of thing in there. Some of the middle bit, it can be a bit confusing. It's trying to tie in so many different people's different storylines. It might be difficult to kind of piece together certain things, but I think if you go on multiple times, you probably will be able to get like the grand picture of stuff. So it's kind of a new experience each time. I would say kudos to all the actors involved, because honestly, like, they do make it, really giving it their all, and considering the amount of shows they do each time, it's really incredible. So say it's an experience I would recommend to any Doctor Who fan to give it a go. It's open for any Doctor Who fan, young, old, whether you like a certain era or not. Everything is included. Any type of fan can go and enjoy this, and everybody will get a different experience. As I said, I won't talk about it, but there's certain moments I was like, oh, this is like really cool. But everyone will kind of get this roughly the same experience at the beginning and at the end. Different POVs. But the middle section is where everybody will kind of go on different paths and do different stuff with different interactions with different characters, aliens and monsters, and all that kind of stuff. And as you see by the photos on screen, afterwards got to take some pictures with the TARDIS, the Unit HQ bit and stuff like that. So it's really great photo opportunities afterwards, which is a great teaser for the sets, actors, cameos, etc. from the show involved. That's kind of the basic premise for you to sort of go and enjoy it yourself, really. But I had the best company in the world to go with. I say if you've got family and friends you can go with. It's a really fun experience to kind of go around in your own sort of bubbles, to go on your own different story paths, etc., leading to a very climactic end. That's all I will say. My lips are sealed. So if you haven't booked tickets yet, you can do. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to go book slots. I think they're open every day of the week apart from Monday, I believe, so it's a pretty wide range of opportunities. It's usually a lunchtime showing and an evening showing. But yeah, kudos to everybody involved in this and the BFI. It's great to be able to do Doctor events, even though we're still in lockdown and even though we're kind of nearing the end, hopefully, of the kind of pandemic. It's great to be able to kind of get back to a bit of normality doing these great events. Being involved in like the Doctor Who world, watching it on a screen, an immersive theatre, along with fellow Doctor Who fans and friends, I couldn't ask for more. That's my retrospective of my time in London. Go to BFI to watch Dragonfire and go into the immersive theatre experience Time Fracture. As always, you can please comment, like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Links to all that in the description below. Again, did you go to BFI or Time Fracture yet? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. Again, please don't post spoilers. I think people really need to enjoy this kind of fresh without knowing anything. But until next time, keep safe and bye bye.